This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. Large-scale work to minimise the risk of flooding is entering the last stage. The Otago Regional Council is opening tenders for the second phase of the Water of Leith flood protection and drainage scheme. But the multi-million-dollar project hasn't been without some setbacks.
Jumping on the campus construction bandwagon, Otago Regional Council staff are preparing to undertake the second stage of the Leith flood protection scheme. The work's being synchronised with several University of Otago projects currently underway.
There's a piece of widening of the Leith channel downstream of Dundas Street Bridge to reduce the flood hazard and the breakout at that location, as well as improving public access into the Water of Leith channel.
A low-level walkway outside the University Registry is also a priority for the second stage of work. So far, the multi-million-dollar project is on track to be fully complete by 2018. That's despite the challenges that arose during the June flood.
We were very pleased at how the Leith flood protection scheme performed during that flood. As expected, there was some minor localised damage, but generally it achieved its purpose, which was to reduce the flood hazard for the Dunedin CBD.
This stage of flood protection is expected to take a big chunk of the $3.6 million in the project budget for this financial year. Staff are taking steps to ensure the money is spent wisely.
We're expecting it to be in excess of $1 million, but that will depend on how a contractor wishes to price it. We've spent some time to reduce the scale of the works and the complexity, and we've hoped to have made some cost savings in that regard.
The tender is expected to be awarded by the end of the year if quotes are favourable. Council staff are anticipating this stage of the project to be complete in March. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News.
Dunedin-based company Fern Farms has approval from shareholders to sell a 50% stake to foreigners. A meeting was held this morning at Forsyth Bar Stadium before the results of a vote were announced. Just over 80% of shareholders voted in favour of the foreign ownership deal. It means a Chinese company will inject $261 million into Fern Farms. That should see the locally based firm debt-free and boasting a surplus within a year. The deal is subject to approval by the Overseas Investment Office. Fern Farms is planning to upgrade and expand with the Chinese investment. Young local Rotarians are using tennis in a big way to raise money for charity. New generation Rotary members took to the Octagon with jumbo rackets to promote an upcoming fundraiser, and the warm weather meant for a great turnout.
Rackets for a big cause. These locals are getting in on the fun to support several charitable organisations in the city.
Raising funds for the Cancer Society, also distraction packs, which is packs that are together for kids in hospital when they're sick. And the great idea about today is letting local businesses in Dunedin have a hit, have a bit of fun, just to get a bit more awareness about the event.
This showcase is a lead up to the real tournament due to be held at the Edgar Centre early next month. The Central City stunt proved popular, so organisers are hoping for even more interest at the fundraiser.
It's been fantastic. We've had some of our major sponsors come down and have a go. We've also got general public coming as well. And that's the great thing about it is people are seeing it, they're asking what it is, and they're going to turn around and support the cause.
Even some high-profile residents enjoyed lending their support to the cause. The activity was all about having fun, regardless of people's swinging style.
It's awesome, it's really fun. The racket's a little bit powerful, but I think the court was too small.
The new generation Rotarians are hoping if all goes well, they'll raise $20,000 for deserving local causes. Annabelle Dick, 39 Dunedin News.
University of Otago students have voted against a move by their representative body. The Otago University Students' Association recently decided to withdraw from the National Union, but in a referendum, students have voted in support of the OUSA rejoining the union. That's despite the yearly membership fee of $45,000. Almost 1,000 students voted, just over half want the OUSA to rejoin the union. In another vote, about 500 students said they support the OUSA's attempts to have the union reformed. The 2016 OUSA executive will decide whether to rejoin the union. Two of the city's creative centres are joining forces for the first time to showcase a range of art projects. Otago Polytechnic's art and design schools are running a two-day symposium, and big plans are afoot for further collaboration.
Blurring the line between art and design, the Dunedin School of Art is teaming up with Otago Polytechnic School of Design for the first time. The resulting two-day symposium and exhibition is designed to connect the separate schools through the work produced within.
They don't really do a great deal of talking to each other, and so it was we all thought it was a good idea if there was some way in which they could come together, because they are coming together in a new building that's being purposely built in 2016-2017.
This exhibition has been put together by two curators, each representing their art and design backgrounds. A variety of works from 14 artists are being displayed, with some more unusual than others.
Both curators have invited people to take part in this exhibition, people whose work is neither quite clearly the one or the other, or are both.
Architecture, jewellery and fashion are all being exhibited, showing the wide scope of what can be classified as art. Two traditional Māori cloaks made from animal skins are one of the displays the organisers say encompass the artistic realm.
She's designed them and she's made them, and this is true of many of the people here. They've working in print, for example. They've designed the print, then made the print and produced it. And it has a design element and it also has an art element.
The exhibition's the main focus of the two-day symposium, but the Dunedin School of Art is also hosting speakers from Australia and New Zealand. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, local Lions clubs help to fund a project that could change the lives of some of those with diabetes, and a story spanning 30 years is told through a new book.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell menswear, it fits.
Mobility Scooters Otago. Mobility scooters, new and used, electric manual wheelchairs, strollers and walkers. Free home demonstration and delivery. Call Tony on 03 455 2875 or visit our showroom, 211 King Edward Street, opposite Westpac. At your locally owned and operated Veggie Boys store, we've got fresh produce daily, fruit, veggies and more. Competitive prices is just one of the reasons people come to us in all seasons. Convenient locations and friendly crew. Veggie Boys Dunedin, come try something new. Stores in the north, the south, be our guest. Centre City as well to serve you the best. Daily specials on produce that are hard to beat, all tasty and healthy and all good to eat. Don't forget, we've also got your milk, bread and meat. Veggie Boys Dunedin, your guaranteed a treat.
Grandad loved his family and surfing in that order. He taught me to surf and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St. Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Grandad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. Gillians.co.nz.
Mosgiel Mowers Plus can help you with products to make your garden maintenance jobs easier. Lawn mowers, ride-ons, chainsaws, line trimmers. Sales and service are our specialty. Mosgiel Mowers Plus. Phone 489 3572 22B Gordon Road, Mosgiel.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
Big Orange, for all your movies, records, books and games. Pre-loved needs and vinyl records, 45s, DVDs. A South Dunedin family-owned business for over 15 years. Check us out on Facebook, opposite Westpac on the sunny side of King Edward Street.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now. They will love you forever.
Congratulations, you're getting married. Hi, I'm James Morris, wedding celebrant, and it's my privilege and a pleasure to bring you the perfect ceremony for your perfect day. Don't wait or contemplate. Your consultation is free with no obligation. jamesmorris.co.nz.
Welcome back. The City Council is benefiting from a renegotiated Treasury bond of $50 million. It means the Council will save $170,000 a year in interest. The Council's new floating rate has been issued for 7 years. It's due to mature in 2022. Commentators say it highlights investor confidence in the Council's future financial performance. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 44 points. It's now at 5,776. And to the exchange rates, and the Kiwi dollar is in fact up against the Australian, but we are down against the other currencies that we follow. Apologies, our graphic doesn't appear to have updated today. Local Lions clubs are joining forces to help fund stem cell research being undertaken at the University of Otago. It's expected to have life-changing outcomes for people with type 1 diabetes. Combined Lions Club's spokesman John Weir is here to tell us more. Good evening, John.
Evening, Rebecca.
This is pretty exciting.
It is, very exciting.
So what is the research that you're backing?
Well, it's headed by Dr. Jim Fade at the Innovation Centre of the University. And basically what it aims to do is to take stem cells from the bone marrow of the people themselves and generate more stem cells, go through various processes and put those stem cells back into the person to try and cure some autoimmune diseases, of which type 1 diabetes is a very strong example of this. So it's exciting, as you said, because if this research can come to fruition, it has huge implications, not only for diabetics, but for a variety of other autoimmune diseases. It was started by a human dynamo of a woman up in the North Island whose husband became a paraplegic. So she set up the Spinal Cord Society of New Zealand, and this research is under the auspices of that society. Lions' interest is an international interest in diabetes, so we've come on to try and assist this particular research by fundraising for it, and our particular interest is the diabetes part of it.
Why are you so interested in diabetes?
Well, I think, as I said, internationally Lions are very interested in trying to find some sort of cure for diabetes, and because this actually holds out the hope for a cure, whereas other interventions are not necessarily looking at curing the thing, this is actually aiming to turn off the processes in the body that are working against itself, and in this case it's working against insulin production, and it's killing those cells in the pancreas that look after that.
How much money are you hoping to collect?
Well, that's an interesting one. I mean, it's a big bucket, but we're looking at raising money for the equipment that Dr. Jim Fade and his team needs. And initially, through this particular project, we're looking at $279,000. Our Southland Lions are actually looking at raising $214 all by themselves for a very special piece of equipment, but ours is looking at, from our district and the northern districts, to cater for that $279 that we'd like to raise.
Well, those are rather modest amounts when it comes to research these days.
They are.
No, tell us about the project that you're launching this week.
Well, we've got a calendar, a very interesting calendar. It features 12 young people who have type 1 diabetes themselves, and they feature on each of the months of the calendar. We have firms that are sponsored at each month, and these kids are doing the various things that those firms would be engaged in. For instance, there's a landscaping firm, and the kids are out there in the garden. There's a trucking firm, and the kids are up in the big rigs, and so forth. And so the calendar will be on sale at various spots for $10 each, and all of those proceeds are going to fund the equipment for this particular research.
How much are you hoping to raise from the calendar?
We'd like to raise 95,000. We've produced 10,000 calendars, and we'd like to come away with 95,000. That's from Otago northwards.
When do you plan to finish your fundraising?
Well, that's how long is a piece of string. We would like to finish our fundraising when we've raised enough money to buy equipment for Jim Fade's research, basically.
Well, all the very best with your project. Combined Lions Club spokesman John Ware, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, we meet the filmmaker whose documentary focuses on the unique story of a Kiwi, and we'll take a look at the results of this week's online poll.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special, 0800 502 402.
McClellan Refrigeration is your one-stop shop for heat pumps in Dunedin. We have a range of heating, air conditioning and refrigeration solutions. We also have 20 years experience. McClellan Refrigeration, call us on 477 0088.
Pallet fires are growing in popularity in Otago with people who want a clean and efficient form of home heating. The sight of a burning flame without the problems of chopping, stacking and carting wood around is a winner. Pallet fires, so easy, so efficient.
Hedges are something we almost take for granted. A good hedge needs regular maintenance to look its best and to add value and character to your property. For all your hedge care needs, call the team at SGC Services on 0800 783 453.
At your locally owned and operated Veggie Boys store, we've got fresh produce daily, fruit, veggies and more. Competitive prices are just one of the reasons people come to us in all seasons. Convenient locations and friendly crew, Veggie Boys Dunedin, come try something new. Stores in the north, the south, be our guest, Centre City as well to serve you the best. Daily specials on produce that are hard to beat, all tasty and healthy and all good to eat. Don't forget we've also got your milk, bread and meat. Veggie Boys Dunedin, you're guaranteed a treat.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Wake up time and another frantic day ahead for Haraway's Oat Singles. With 3 delicious flavours in each pack, they don't last long with this family. They're so convenient and tasty, and they're ready in seconds. Haraway's Oat Singles are the ideal breakfast or snack on the run for today's busy families. And there's a flavour to suit everyone. Beat the rush and make sure you get your favourite flavour. Haraway's Oat Singles. Try new Kiwi Favourites Caramel Variety Pack.
Here's something else to look forward to sinking your teeth into every weekend with the Otago Daily Times. The Weekend Mix, your guide to what's hot in fashion, entertainment, food and more. New weekend magazine in your ODT. Pick up your copy this Saturday.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Welcome back. The 30-year history of a local organisation is being celebrated with a book launch and an art exhibition. Arts Centre began at Cherry Farm Hospital and has been helping mental health clients for the past 3 decades. But the flow of creativity is far from over.
Reading up on some local history, the first 30 years of Arts Centre has been captured in a book. It details the centre's development as a shared studio, offering a creative outlet for people in the mental health system.
It began at Cherry Farm Psychiatric Hospital when it was, of course, really winding down, but in full bloom in some ways.
The book's been years in the making, starting as an idea at the 25th Arts Centre anniversary. Now the book's launch coincides with the centre's yearly art exhibition. Trust members are hoping it reveals to residents some long-forgotten history, as well as Arts Centre's relevance.
I would hope that they would see how worthwhile that Arts Centre is for the people who come there to do their art for art's sake.
The organisation's recently won a national award. It's considered to be one of the country's oldest and most established creative spaces. But it's in a precarious position.
Any NGO that is funded through health is at risk, and we know that. So what we have to do is try and show to the world and show to our funders that this is truly worth funding.
Thompson worked at Cherry Farm and she's proud of how Arts Centre has helped hundreds of people over the years. She's enjoying being able to involve the wider community in its work.
Having the book launch in amongst this exhibition makes it even more special, because if this creativity wasn't here, there's no story to tell, there's no book to write.
The exhibition's running for another week, and already Arts Centre Trust members, staff and clients are looking forward to the next 30 years of creative expression. Rosie Mannins, 39 Dunedin News.
A local documentary is showcasing the unique story of a Kiwi that's undergone 2 rounds of surgery. The film is among work being produced by science communication students at the University of Otago. But it's a foreigner who's chosen to focus on the distinctly native subject.
Meet Nio, the Kiwi. She's starring in a locally made documentary put together by science communication student Kimberly Frost. The Oregon filmmaker is wanting to support efforts to boost the native Kiwi population.
And then this story just kind of fell in my lap, and I was just in awe of her, and she's adorable and feisty and very unique. Has a lot of personality.
Nio hatched with a crooked beak and was flown to Massey University for surgery before being returned to the Kiwi Birdlife Park in Queenstown.
Kiwi have very sensitive beaks. They're very reliant on them. So to do this, there's a huge risk, and her particular situation is unique because her beak was bent in 2 different directions. So it actually took 2 surgeries to fix it.
Much of the filming was done at the Kiwi Park in Queenstown, and it wasn't easy.
Nocturnal birds aren't the easiest to work with. They don't really like coming into the light, which is important for filming. And so a lot of it is shot in night vision because we just had no other way to show the quirky nature of these animals.
The documentary's being shown this weekend as part of a science and natural history film premiere. It's one of 5 offerings to the public from the university's Centre for Science Communication. Rosie Mannins, 39 Dunedin News.
And documentaries from the centre will screen on Dunedin television over the coming months. The Dunedin City Council's maintenance contract with local Black Power gang members is generating discussion among the community. The council is paying a gang company just over $50,000 to clean up litter, remove weeds and clear pathways. This week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asked if you feel the City Council should give contracts to gang members. 27% of you are in favour of this, but the majority at 73% are not. Local academics are leading a nationwide call for the government to take urgent action on climate change. They say residents will suffer the negative effects of climate change if the status quo continues. Next week's 39 Dunedin News online poll asks if you're worried about climate change. You can vote at our website dunedintv.co.nz. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. Work is about to get underway on the second stage of the multi-million-dollar Leith flood protection scheme at the university. A jumbo tennis event in the Octagon has been generating support for an upcoming charity fundraiser organised by young Rotarians. And the Polytechnic's Schools of Art and Design are collaborating for the first time on an exhibition spanning the creative realm. Well, it's time now for local weather.
This local weather report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
Today's city view is taken of street art that is near the water of Leith. Looks a little bit like Bart Simpson. Well, around the city today at 3 o'clock, quite pleasant indeed. 22 degrees for the central city, 21 for both the Gardens and the Tyree. To the situation, and a trough of low pressure with cold fronts will move over us this weekend. It's followed by a cool southwest flow. To the forecast for some of the main towns in the lower South Island for tomorrow, becoming fine for Invercargill, Gore and Alexandra. Westerlies and some cloud for Te Anau, highs of around 15 or 16 degrees. Becoming fine for Queenstown, Oamaru, Wanaka and Twizel. Southerlies will die out in Oamaru and temperatures there of around 15 to 16 degrees. And Dunedin tonight, rain easing to showers, cool southwesters and a low of 7. Tomorrow any remaining showers will clear and it will become mostly fine and sunny with cool southwesters dying out, going for a high of 13. And on Sunday, westerlies becoming strong and gusty with some clouds and a few showers later in the day, a high of 16. And based on that forecast, the jury is still out on washing day. It's going to be a wait and see approach. To the Otago pallet fires, tidal and fishing information. High tide tomorrow morning is at 20 past 8. Low tide on Sunday afternoon is at around 3 o'clock. And fishing conditions look pretty good this weekend, especially around 4:30 Saturday afternoon and 20 past 5, very precise, on Sunday afternoon. And that is all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for this week. We will leave you now with some shots from the week that was. We'll see you again on Monday. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.